joining me. I had to restart my stream.
Y'all looking at the
Protest puppies. Gotta have the protest puppies, huh? Cute. So thanks for joining us.
We want justice, you say how?
Here at the GEO Center in Aurora, Colorado for
Jeanette
Vizcara with PSL in Aurora, Colorado.
We want justice, you
Thank
say
you for joining
how?
us.
We want justice, you say how?
Free Jeanette Vizcara now!
Free Jeanette Vizcara now!
Hi y'all, thanks for letting us start a little abruptly. We could get everybody off the street and onto the grass. I need you to come in closer. Jeanette is actually currently on the phone, so we're gonna start by hearing from her. Yeah, ahora sí.
¿Cómo están todos?
How is everyone today?
Pues quiero decir primero gracias a todos que cada lunes están viniendo a protestar aquí enfrente de este campo de concentración.
First and foremost, she wants to thank everyone that has been coming out every single Monday to come and protest against this concentration camp.
Meses de esta administración que está causando mucho daño a nuestras comunidades.
As we can see, we've been experiencing almost 4 months out of an administration that is continuously hurting us and our families.
No solo estamos hablando de separación de familias, estamos hablando de secuestros, ya que no tienen una orden firmada por un juez y están secuestrando a nuestra gente para ganar dinero en este lugar.
We're not only talking about the separation of families, but we're essentially talking about kidnappings. A lot of these people are being detained with no deportation order, no warrants either.
Quiero pedirles que no se rindan, al igual que yo no me estoy rindiendo. Yo sigo luchando aquí adentro.
She wants to say, let's make sure to not give up the same way that she's not giving up either. Let's go ahead and keep this fight going.
Son 28 años que le he dado a la comunidad de trabajo duro, constante, peleando por derechos laborales, civiles, humanos y fundadora de derechos de inmigrantes en Colorado.
This has now been 16 years worth of a fight, worth of several different fights, not only for immigration rights, but for workers' rights, for civil rights, for any kind of intersectionality that there is. Not only has she been present, but we need to make sure and do the same as well.
He hecho este trabajo de manera autónoma, donde nunca he cobrado por mi trabajo, porque yo entiendo lo que es justicia social.
She's always done this work autonomously, without ever raising some sort of charge for this.
Porque yo entiendo lo que es justicia social.
Oh, because she understands what social justice is.
Ahora pido yo el apoyo de mi comunidad. Esta lucha va a ser larga, costosa, pero no me quiero rendir porque sé que ustedes van a estar apoyando mi lucha desde este encierro. Son 28 años que le he dado a la comunidad y ahora pido que mi comunidad me respalde a mí.
It's been 28 years that she's given to her community, and she'd like for her community to back her the same way.
Que pido que la comunidad me siga apoyando con los costos legales para seguir resistiendo.
This is going to be a long as well as pricey fight. And I hope, I hope we are able to support each other. And I'm so sorry, guys.
Lucha es muy costosa y ahora yo necesito de mi comunidad.
The fight is very pricey, and she needs from her community.
No es fácil estar aquí adentro, seguir viendo historias de mujeres que están separadas de sus hijos, que fueron sacadas de sus hogares sin ninguna orden judicial. No es fácil estar aquí rodeada de mujeres que también fueron sacadas de sus hogares sin una orden judicial.
It's not easy to be in there surrounded by other women that have also gone ahead and gone through the same hardship. They were essentially ripped from their families without having any sort of judicial order, any sort of warrant, any sort of deportation order.
En 16 años que llevo peleando mi proceso de deportación, hemos estado denunciando las condiciones de este lugar que siguen igual.
In the 30 years that her fight has been going on, for that entire time, she's been denouncing the conditions of this detention center, and they are the same. They continue to be the same.
Shame. Son solo 3 meses que lleva este presidente y está destruyendo la democracia de este país.
It's only been 3 months since this president has been in office, and he is slowly but surely destroying our democracy.
Todos ustedes tienen el deber moral de pelear por la democracia y los derechos civiles y humanos de las personas.
All of us have the moral need to keep fighting not only for our democracy, but for the simple human rights of everyone that is in our community.
De que si todos estamos unidos, organizados, vamos a salir adelante de estos 4 años de terror, de injusticia, de persecución, que se está perdiendo la democracia.
We will keep fighting and we will keep being resilient despite of these next years that we're going to pass. And we'll keep fighting for each other, and we'll keep supporting each other.
Les pido que cada lunes traigan cada día más gente, que sepan que la comunidad estamos unidos, que en Colorado vamos a seguir resistiendo los ataques de esta administración.
And she hopes that every Monday, more and more people show up, that we show that we're strong, that we're resilient, and that Colorado as a whole, they go ahead and take care, and they protect their family.
De mi arresto, yo dije que no importa si eres socialista, comunista, anarquista, de cualquier comunidad, esta lucha es de todos.
As she has said the day before her arrest, she made it very explicit that regardless of any sort of party or political affiliation that you have, whether you're a communist, a socialist, anything of the sort, we're all one and we're all under the same attack.
Bueno, quiero decirle a la prensa que me siento como un preso político basado en la retaliación de mi lucha.
She wants to go ahead and let the press know that essentially her feeling is that she is a political prisoner due to her fight.
Quieren callar mi voz, pero no lo van a poder hacer. Aún desde aquí sigo trabajando, sigo luchando y sigo denunciando.
They want to shut her voice down, but it's not happening even from inside. She's continuing to fight. She's continuing to denounce the wrongdoings of these corporations and these people, as well as she continues to fight and help those in there as well.
Y aunque este gobierno lograra fuera a deportarme, todavía desde mi país seguiría haciendo el trabajo y denunciando lo que pasa en este país, porque yo decidí venir aquí pensando que había democracia y que había justicia.
Even if they were, which is not the case, but even if they were successful in her deportation, they still wouldn't get her to be quiet. She'll continue fighting, even for Mexico, and speaking about what's going on within this country, because the entire reason for the move from Mexico to here essentially was because we all have the idea of the American dream of a democracy, of a better life for our families.
La otra cosa que quiero decir es que yo estoy bien, estoy gozando de buena salud hasta ahorita. Si algún día dejan de saber de mí, hago responsable a este lugar.
As of now, she wants to go ahead and let people know that she is okay health-wise. You know, she's very blessed to be doing fine. But if anything were to happen to her, let's go ahead and be sure and make it known that we know exactly who caused this.
Cada líder que ha puesto su voz, su persona en riesgo por la justicia de otros, nos ayuden para seguir adelante con nuestro trabajo.
And for every person that is using their voice, that is using their ability to speak out for others, let's make sure that we're protected, and let's go ahead and keep a culture of security, as we can see that we're under a very difficult time for anyone that chooses to speak out against what's going on.
Por último, quiero decirles gracias a todos y que no dejen a mis hijos solos en esta lucha.
Last but not least, she just wants to say thank you to everyone, and please don't leave her children, behind within this fight. From my end, I'm very thankful for everyone that's shown up, for everyone that's been here these past couple Mondays. It's time that you're sacrificing, time with your families that you're sacrificing, as well as sometimes some of you make a very long commute. Me and my family were very blessed to have the support that we do, as well as super grateful. And let's keep showing up every Monday, and let's keep pushing certain aspects. Another thing I wanted to emphasize is the GoFundMe. McKenna will talk a little bit more about it, but legal costs are very expensive. The GoFundMe is essentially almost wiped out, and this seems like it's going to be a little bit of a lengthier process. So if we can keep promoting that, promoting the campaign, Free Jeanette as well as Jeanette Belongs Here, promoting the petition, as well as promoting the rallies every Monday. Get your friends to show up, as well as, let's just keep showing up for each other. But thank you. When immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. I said, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When Jeanette is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. 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 All right, that's the energy we're looking for tonight, folks. Let's give it up one more time for Aurora, who's been out in the streets for her mother every single day. All right, just so you all know, I want to prepare you. Tonight is going to be a lot of people power. We're going to need all of your voices chanting, because I don't know how many of you know this, but right down here, through this disgusting cage situation, people can hear us inside. And if you walk down there, if you want to take a walk, you'll hear people pounding on the windows, because they know that we are out here for them. And nobody says it better than Jeanette, right?
Hi, Grace. Thank you
is
for being here
representative
tonight.
of every
Love it when you're
person
here.
in there. And when we say her name is a vessel for every single person across this country who is detained in a center like this. So to get us started tonight, I'm going to bring up Daniel with the IIN.
How y'all doing? Yes, my name is Daniel Mondragon. I am here representing the Interfaith Immigration Network, and I am director of Embracing Nonviolence. It is said, Dr. King said, I know, thank you, I know somehow that only when it's dark enough can you see the stars. Oh my goodness, we are in dark times. And yet I look around and I see shining stars, every one of you, and I'm so grateful to be here with you. So grateful to be with all the people that were with us on Saturday. That was awesome. I hope you all were there. Yeah! So it's very cool. I'm mindful of the fact that last week we had the opportunity to remember again our ancestors in the struggle. We remember the birthday of Cesar Chavez and honor the work that he and Dolores Huerta did with farm workers and promoting unions. So important, and protecting our food supplies. So important. And of course, we last week had the opportunity to also remember the final days of Martin Luther King. 57 years ago, he was taken from us because he was brave enough to speak out. And so we can remember all of our ancestors in the struggle who are no longer with us, and we can honor and walk with alongside our compatriots like Jeanette and all of you, and standing strong today. Dr. King, in his last speech the night before he died, said, you know, if I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they hadn't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of the press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest for rights. And so, just as I say, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. We are going on. We will not let them turn us around. We will not let them turn us around. We will not let them turn us around. It takes courage. Thank you for your courage being here. And they taught us that it takes courage to stand up and to not look away when there's injustice to be confronted. And it takes courage to also not forget our humanity, each one's humanity, to do this work from love. Love for one another, love for our country, love for our world. That in love, we can be powerful enough as a force of love, of nonviolence, to bring about change. So thank you all for being here. May the goodness, the love of the Creator that flows throughout the world inspire you and strengthen you today and always. I'd like to have my friend Teresa tell you a little bit about the Immigration Network.
Thank you, Daniel. This is my first time speaking at this event, so be kind. I've been coming for at least 5 years to the vigils, and I'm so inspired by this presence, this number of people that are here to support Jeanette, but all of our brothers and sisters who are in detention, who are in fear right now, who are afraid to go to work, to send their kids to school, to get food and what they need. We need to stand with them and help them as they are in fear and for good reason. And so Daniel talked about love and courage. And that's what we need to do. And we need to look at how we are alike and our common humanity, and not what divides us, but what unites us. I just wanted to share with you the Interfaith Immigration Mission Statement. It's kind of mission-y as they get, or statement, but we're a network of faithful individuals and organizations allied with immigrants and working together to convene and present a strong, united, interfaith voice in support of immigrants and their rights, and to provide education, outreach, and support for individuals and organizations to catalyze their engagement with immigrant lives and immigrant rights. But basically, we started, 2 women in Southeast Denver, gathered folks from neighboring churches. We're open to all faith communities and everyone. And we were ready to fold last summer because there wasn't a lot of support and energy. Well, that all changed in November.
Thank you for being here.
And we have had anywhere from 25 to 45 or 50 people on our weekly Zoom meetings, really getting out there and supporting whatever we can and our brothers and sisters. We've had a food bank for years to support immigrant families, and we've had lots of efforts along the way, but today is our call, and today is what we were together for 5 years, unfortunately, but we are not silenced. And we are using our faith and the social teachings of our faiths to work for and with. And I'm just sick about Jeanette. And there's another gentleman that asked for rent help, his wife. He was picked up on the street. They're both from El Salvador. I don't know them well. We were working with getting them rent money. He was detained. He went with them. He is, as far as we know, in this detention center. His name is Jose. His wife is Anna, and they have a 4-year-old daughter. And his wife Anna is very afraid that he will be deported back to El Salvador. And we're working, trying to find out more information and support her. She was afraid to go to work. They both were. They were out for a walk and he got apprehended. And we believe that he left because he was with his family and didn't want them to be upset and create a scene. He does not have a criminal record. So please keep Jose and Anna and their 4-year-old daughter in your thoughts and in your hearts and in your prayers. That's all I have to say. Thank you for being here, and let's just keep supporting Jeanette, one another, and all of our brothers and sisters. Jeanette!
That's terrifying.
Jeanette! Escucha!
Estamos en la lucha.
Jeanette! Escucha!
Estamos en la lucha.
Jeanette! Escucha!
Estamos en la lucha.
Everyone, I want to draw out something that Jeanette said on her call. She called herself a political prisoner, right? Do we all understand what that is? Yes. Has everyone heard of Mahmoud Khalil?
Yes.
Free Mahmoud.
Free Mahmoud.
Yes. Okay, so we see what's happening here, right? We see that the Trump administration is targeting leaders. And he thinks, and his administration thinks, that somehow, if they detain enough leaders and they threaten not only these individuals, but they threaten our movements, they threaten the movement for immigrant rights, they threaten the movement for Palestine. That's us. Are we going to be threatened out of the streets?
No!
Are we going to back down?
No!
We know that nothing this administration does is going to break Jeanette, right? Will we be broken?
No!
Will we stand with Jeanette?
Yes!
them fall.
Break the chains and let them fall.
Free the prisoners, free them all.
Free the prisoners, free them all.
Break the chains and let them fall.
Break the chains and let them fall.
Free the prisoners, free them all.
Free the prisoners, free them all.
Break the chains and let them fall.
Break the chains and let them fall.
All right, next I would like to welcome up longtime Denver organizer and activist Ernesto Vigil.
I have business cards. I'm with the University of Denver. I don't have an advanced degree. Basically, I was given a position there as a visiting scholar by virtue of the fact that I've been published, and I focus on local, contemporary political issues. Okay? What I wanted to start off this presentation by explaining is some history. The average American does not know his or her own history, much less do they know mine. I do not call myself an American, and I'm very critical of American history because I am a historian. For example, my grandfather was a so-called immigrant. My grandfather was born in 1880. At the time he came to the United States, there is no paperwork on when he crossed the border. Because back in 1900, if you were a Mexican born on the other side, as opposed to a Mexican born on this side, you would walk up to the border in El Paso, and you would pay about 7 centavos, 7 cents. They would lift up the crossing board, and you just walked across. There was no paperwork. In all the immigration rhetoric now, which is extremely racist, they talk about an invasion of illegal aliens. And they accuse Biden, who I do not admire, as having an open border, as though an open border is horrible. Well, when my grandpa came and he paid the 7 cents, that was an open border. Open borders are not new in the United States. Okay, putting aside that little bit of history, I also point out, people will come to me and they'll say, well, that's a very interesting last name you have. Where do you come from? I can document my ancestry in this region going back to 1685. We still have family papers, the oldest of which is 1772. Of course, it's in Spanish, and it's older than the U.S. Constitution. And it didn't cross the border. That document's from Nuevo Mexico. So there's a lot of us who will say we didn't cross the border crossed us. So this whole issue about who the immigrants are needs to be examined very carefully. Immigrants have always come here for work. Immigrants are a big part and have always been a big part of the labor force, because the whole issue of immigration is not only racist, but fundamentally it's an economic issue. Here's one example. People don't know it, but it wasn't until 1987, when they passed a law that for the first time made it illegal to hire undocumented workers. Before that, companies were hiring them anytime they wanted. It was not against the law, but it was the racism in the Reagan era that kept talking about illegal aliens who are coming here to take our jobs that they passed the Immigration Reform and Control Act of 1986, IRCA. I worked under that program for 4 years. I helped over 1,400 people get their immigration documents. So I have personal experience in knowing about that law. The first law to make it illegal to hire people without papers. I also like to point out that the rhetoric they use is extremely racist. They don't talk about migrants. They don't talk about immigrants. They talk about illegal aliens. Automatically, whoever the person is a criminal. They're illegal. I keep telling people, no one is illegal or a criminal until they have gone to court and been found guilty. So we cannot use racist terms like illegal aliens. I do want to give a few comments upon the history because we don't know our own history. We're always told as well that people come here to the United States because this is the home of the free, land of the brave, blah, 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 blah. And the Constitution is this great law. When the Constitution was passed, it was only for white property owners who could vote. If you didn't have property, you couldn't vote. If you were a white male, you couldn't vote. So I tell people, and sometimes this makes people upset with me, because it sounds a little bit too radical, but I tell people, the United States of America has historically been an unequal society. And the provisions were made for it in the U.S. Constitution. Only white males could vote. Now again, many of us don't focus on those issues of immigration. I do want to say that when they passed the Immigration Reform and Control Act under Ronald Reagan in 1986, there were a broad variety of racist issues because Latinos have now grown to be from the second largest minority to the largest. Minimum 40 million people here. Not all of whom are undocumented. When Reagan passed that law, he was a Republican from California, because I want to make a point about the economics of immigration law. Reagan was a racist. Reagan was raised in the lap of luxury that he had from his Hollywood career. He was always a conservative, always a Republican, and in the 1940s he'd been an informer for the FBI because the FBI was concerned that Hollywood was a leftist. So Reagan is an ultra-right guy from day one. However, when he wanted to outlaw illegal aliens from working in the U.S., his biggest opponent in the state of California were the farm owners, who were racist, right-wing Republicans like Reagan. But they needed Mexicans to pick their crops. So when that law was passed, if a family had come across the border, didn't have papers, they had to prove that they had been here 5 consecutive years. They had to show everywhere they worked at, everywhere they lived, and they had to have proof of their employment. 5 years. So people were moved from California into New Mexico, up to Colorado. So trying to track that was a very difficult task. Farm owners, however, who wanted to have cheap labor, Mexican labor, they pressured the Republican Party, and the Republican Party came up with a special section of the law for farm workers. You only had to prove that you worked 30 days picking crops in 3 consecutive years. That's all you had to prove. And rather than get all the documentation It was a 4-page document, most of it filled out by the farmer, because the farmers need cheap labor. So again, the whole issue of immigration is always tied to economics as well. Now, we now have Trump in power, and I tell people that Ronald Reagan, way back in the 1960s, Ronald Reagan paved the way for Donald Trump. I also have to say as well that Biden was not a friend of immigrants. Neither was Obama, who deported more than Trump deported, and neither was Clinton. People have forgotten that in the time that Clinton was the governor of Arkansas, there was a big crime that was being overlooked, and it was the sale and importation of cocaine from Central America, because Reagan had a secret war going on over there. I began working in the field of immigration in the 1980s. When at the beginning of 1980, you didn't really have a Central American community here. How did we end up now with Aurora having a large confrontation with Central America? It's Reagan's secret CIA wars in Central America. The government of Honduras was a military dictatorship. If you oppose the government of Honduras and you're Hondureña, they would kill you. In El Salvador, if you oppose the military government, they would kill you. They had massacre after massacre after massacre, and those governments were put in power by the USA. The worst place was in Guatemala, because they were conducting genocide in Guatemala. A military dictatorship again put in power by the USA. So the people fleeing Guatemala, El Salvador, started coming north because of U.S. policy that put dictatorships in power. People fleeing to this day are fleeing for political reasons and also for the economic reasons. And so, briefly, let's look at the economics of Mexico. Mexico and a lot of countries in the world where the people live in poverty are not poor countries. They are countries that have been plundered by U.S. banks and U.S. corporations. So the racist stereotypes that come right along with the immigration laws need to be examined. For example, right now, there's a large number of people here who were allowed to enter by Joe Biden. These are people from Venezuela. Is Joe Biden a liberal humanitarian? No. Biden wanted to say that the government of Venezuela, which has a lot of oil that used to be controlled by U.S. corporations, Biden is saying, oh, they're an evil socialist government, they're oppressing their people, and therefore I'm going to give a bunch of free passes to people from Venezuela. Well, now that they're here, we have Trump in power, he wants to deport them. Okay, so the whole issue can seem complicated unless you understand some basic history. Human beings, according to American law, have the right to come to the border to seek refuge, fleeing dictatorships. Those Central American countries of Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, Nicaragua, I was working on immigration papers, when that was happening, no Central American could be given political status in the U.S. because that would have been an admission that they're fleeing governments that the U.S. put in power. So there's genocide being committed in Guatemala, and they couldn't cross the border. So there's inequalities that run throughout this whole issue. I'm giving a brief summary because this is basic information that the public needs to know, and they do not know it. So if we're going to be effective at what we do, we have to be informed, we have to look at the issues the way they are, and we have to know how to analyze the rhetoric. In closing, I've noted that for the past 2 years, I'm a news junkie. I have to follow the issues of the day. There are 3 issues that are always in the headlines. There's the war in Ukraine, the genocide in Palestine, and the crisis at the border. Whose crisis? What they're not saying is that the so-called crisis at the border is an issue that is being conveyed to the public in tremendously racist ways. When it was the 80s and the people, and I was living in LA in the 1980s, Central Americans, when they would cross the border without papers, like everybody who comes here without documents, you are very poor and you have to stay in the cheapest place you can. In LA, the Central Americans were between the black area of town, the Chicano area of town, and both areas have gangs. So the Central Americans formed gangs because they were country people. They didn't come here as gang members. They became gang members in the USA. The Mara Salvatrucha started in the USA, not in El Salvador. So now we see the photos that they're using to demonize people from Central America, to demonize immigration, to demonize people with dark colors, and they're constantly focusing on all these guys with tattoos on their neck, tattoos on their face, and that is being done specifically to prey upon public fears. So again, there's nothing new in what's going on here. What we're doing is continuing a right
I agree.
for workers,
I agree, Grace.
for immigrants, and for humanity. We are on the right side of history at the most dangerous point in history that I recall. I remember the urban uprisings and disturbances and how the police controlled them in the 60s and 70s. What I'm seeing now is more public anger, more people in movement against the status quo. They will target us like they target Jeanette. They have lists. If we can't defeat them in this battle, we're going to be fighting an ongoing series of battles. Our only strength is in numbers and in having a clear analysis of where the problem really comes from. We're not the problem. The status quo is the problem. We had 50 states marching against Trump. What we need to do is come together because our power is in our organized numbers. I'm far more confident in mass organization than in political parties. I thank you very much. I look forward to working with you further, and I'm glad to see you all here.
Let's hear that one more time, join us, everyone. Okay, I know the sun's going down. I know it's getting chilly. We're going to pivot. We're all going to face that way from these next couple of chants because we want everybody in there to hear us, okay? All right, guys,
And
let's keep
two.
this energy going.
Good to see you.
El pueblo vive, vive.
La lucha sigue, sigue.
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 All right, guys, let's go to another one now. El pueblo unido.
Jamás será vencido.
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 Great work, everybody. I'm gonna have you pivot back this way. Thank you so much. All right, next I would like to bring up a community member named Dots. Oh, we're gonna hold. Poncho, are you ready? All right, everybody, this is Poncho.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, everybody. Make some noise for yourselves. My name is Poncho Alfonso Espino. I'm a proud organizer here with the Party for Socialism and Liberation in Denver. And although I'm proud to be here with you all, I don't think any of us get any joy from being in this concentration camp, in this place where they hold our political prisoners, our family members, our community members who have done absolutely nothing wrong except being the target of the latest racist campaign against our people. I think what Ernesto said is the most important thing that we all have to keep in mind. We need to understand the history. We need to understand that rhetoric, because it's not the first time that they've used it. It probably won't be the last if we allow them to remain in power. And it's also a rhetoric that has took a long time for them to build. They didn't build this rhetoric overnight. They didn't build this rhetoric in my lifetime or yours. They did this over the course of a century, or centuries worth of colonization on this land. And that's exactly what we need to understand, that they understand protracted, long struggle. They built this country on the blood of people because they understand how that works.
Thank you,
They've
everyone.
imposed themselves and they continue to kill people, not just here and lock up people up here, but abroad. And they're going to continue to do so because that's the only way they can hold on to the power that they've built. But despite the fact that it took them centuries to build this narrative, it can quickly unravel. Is it easier to build a building or to knock it down? And that's exactly why they're so terrified of this growing movement, because it's unraveling. Their narrative is unraveling before their eyes, and because their narrative is no longer working, they have to resort to the only thing they know: intimidation, violence, and suppression. And if we understand that, that is their last resort, in order to hold on to their narrative, then our duty is to fight back and not give them any more inches. What's happening to Jeanette is not isolated to Denver. What's happening to Mahmoud Khalil is not isolated to the universities. They're arresting labor organizers in California. They're arresting students that weren't even at protest, but they penned a somewhat controversial op-ed, right? This is an issue that's affecting all of us. It's the chicken coming home to roost. And we have to decide how we're going to confront it. Are we going to just sit by? I don't think this crowd's ready to sit by, right? Are we going to allow them to continue building off of their racist, violent rhetoric? No! What are we going to do? We're going to fight back, right? Fight back! Because we have no alternative. So we need to entrench ourselves. We need to immerse ourselves. We need to commit ourselves, because They have been organized for a long time. The ruling class, the violent elite that run this country, both sides of that political aisle, so-called aisle, that are ruling this country, that hand off the baton to each other to continue their violent programs and their racist rhetoric. El pueblo unido
jamás será vencido.
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 El pueblo
Jamás será vencido.
El pueblo
Unido. Jamás será vencido.
Come on, everybody make some noise. We can hear you in there. A los prisioneros adentro de esta cárcel, a los que han sido aquí puestos injustamente, estamos aquí afuera luchando con ustedes. Sabemos que ustedes no se van a rendir, van a luchar todos los días y nosotros también tenemos un deber porque ustedes son la razón por nuestra lucha. Make some noise, make them hear you! El pueblo vive, vive.
La lucha sigue, sigue.
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 El pueblo unido.
Jamás será vencido.
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 Make some noise, everybody. You see our beautiful Don't be shy, don't be shy. Make your way this way, make your way this way. They can see you and they can hear you. No están solos, 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 no están solos.
I know Grace is ready to cry.
No están solos, no están solos. This isn't just a regular protest. This isn't just a regular moment. These aren't just visuals meant to make ourselves feel better while they're locked up in there. It's meant to show you the reality of this system. They're locked up in there and they refuse to stand down with their whole hearts, but they have prayers, they're pounding on that window, yearning for the freedom that they deserve. Make some noise to make sure they keep hearing you, everybody. No están solos, no están solos,
I know.
no están solos, no están solos,
No están solos. No están solos. No están solos. No están solos. No están can't you hear? Donald Trump, can't you hear? Immigrants are welcome here. Immigrants are welcome here. El pueblo vive, vive. El pueblo vive, vive. La lucha sigue, sigue. El pueblo vive, vive. La lucha sigue, sigue. When Trump says get back, we say fight back. Trump says get back, we say fight back. Fight back.
Trump's family. You're his wife.
Fight back. Fight back. Fight back. Fight back.
And his family. You're right.
Fight back.
Yeah. I know. Oh,
Families together! Now! Families together! Now!
I did afterwards.
Families together!
And she said it to the crowd.
Now! Families together! Now! Families together! Now!
Okay, please listen. When I say what do we want, you have to answer freedom for my brothers. When I say what do you want, you have to say freedom for Jeanette. Okay? Good? Okay. What do you want? What do you want? Freedom for Jeanette. What do you want? Freedom for my brothers. Okay, we have to repeat 3 times. Freedom for my brothers, and then freedom for Jeanette. Okay? What do you want? For Jeanette. What do you want? Freedom for my brothers. What do you want? Freedom for my brothers. What do you want? Freedom for Jeanette. What do you want? Freedom for Jeanette. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. The people united will never be divided. The people united will never be divided. The people united will never be divided.
That's right, y'all. We're having our next speaker. Okay. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
If we don't get it,
Shut it down!
if we don't get it,
Shut it down!
if we don't get it.
Shut it down!
Okay, we have someone who's inside the detention center right now who wants to speak to us all.
¿Vas a hablar? ¿Qué vas a hablar?
So I have Pablo here with me. Pablo's wife is in the detention center right now. And she can see all of you, but I don't know if she can hear all of you. Make some noise! Pablo's wife has also been unjustly rounded up and arrested, and is another one of our political prisoners. And just take a look at the resilience that it takes to still be able to communicate with her loved one outside, despite the conditions inside. Estamos aquí con ustedes, estamos dispuestos a seguir luchando. La victoria de ustedes será la victoria de nosotros y el apoyo de nuestra comunidad es totalmente suyo. Es para ustedes, estamos aquí para ustedes. If you get a moment, come and speak and find Pablo, and he and his family are in dire need of financial help right now because of the conditions that they're facing. So please come and find Pablo if you have a moment and you have any sort of help or resource that you can help give Pablo and our dear community members that are locked up inside right now. Pablo, ¿te gustaría decir algo al público? ¿Ella quiere decir algo?
Sí, ella. Hola, buenas tardes. Y gracias por su esfuerzo, por las luchas que están haciendo constantes por nosotros.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you all for being here, being so willing to struggle for us and with us here. We see you and we hear you all coming out to support those of us stuck and having to struggle through this moment, this difficult moment for those of us that are locked up in here right now.
Estamos aquí.
¿Quieren continuar? I want to give my thanks and my gratitude for the time that you all gave up to be here and show your support for us. ¿Alguna otra cosa? That is all. Thank you. Please remain in the struggle. No están solos. 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 No están solos.
All right, everybody. We've made an incredible turnout tonight. Everyone in there can hear us. Give yourselves a round of applause. Poncho spoke to this before, but it cannot be understated how integral it is that we all stay in the struggle, right? Because we are disciplined, yes? Because we are steadfast, yes? And because we know that hope is a discipline, yes? Yes. So we're going to welcome up our next speaker, a community member with, a community member named Dots, who has come and is being very brave and speaking to us today.
Thank you. My name is Dots, and I'm going to be saying this in Spanish while they can hear me, and also for our community members who speak Spanish who are here today, and then I'll do the English version. Quiero agradecerles a todos los que pudieron venir hoy a apoyar a nuestra amiga y compañera que está en la lucha del sistema, Jeanette. Hoy estoy aquí como un líder de la comunidad, una hija de inmigrantes y por ser inmigrante también. La lucha contra el sistema nunca se acabará mientras las personas como nosotras sigamos peleando. El sistema que se sigue en estos días crea injusticia para los que hemos venido para tener una mejor oportunidad. Solo por ser inmigrantes quieren tratarnos como si no fuéramos gentes. Ni a los animales los tratan así en los Estados Unidos. Los inmigrantes son los que hacen estos Estados Unidos. Los inmigrantes hasta han construido hasta el centro donde nos detienen. Nosotros y la gente que nos apoya, que nos ama, tenemos el poder de crear un mejor sistema cuando todos nos juntamos. Sé que en estos tiempos el gobierno nos ha dado mucho miedo de hablar de lo que pasa. Hasta salir de nuestras casas nos asustan. pero no podemos dejar que el miedo nos gane. Tenemos que ayudarnos uno al otro, tratar de mandar recursos y ofrecer servicios a los que más los necesitamos. Jeanette sabe esto y conociéndola a ella, hasta por dentro está organizando. Le debemos dar el mismo amor, respeto y apoyo a Jeanette que ella nos ha dado a nosotros. Ella ha usado su voz para ayudar a las comunidades de nosotros y hasta ahora usaremos la nuestra para ayudar a Jeanette. Este es un ataque contra la lucha en la que luchamos para mejorar el sistema para la gente. Es persecución política para sacarnos de la lucha. Estos tiempos son cruciales para que nosotros salgamos y demos recursos. Debemos no tener temor. Este también es nuestro país al que nos unimos. No hay nada más que perder excepto nuestras cadenas. English version now. Firstly, I want to thank everyone who was able to come today and support our friend and colleague in this fight against the system, Jeanette. I'm here today as a community leader and as a daughter of immigrants. The fight against the system will never end as long as people like us continue to fight. The system in place these days creates injustice for those of us who have come here for better opportunities. Just for being immigrants, they want to treat us as if we weren't people. Even animals are treated different in the United States. Immigrants are what make the United States. The immigrants have even built the centers where they detain us. We are the people. We and the people who support us, who love us, have the power to create a working system when we all come together. I know that in these times the government has scared us to speak up, to even leave our homes, but we can't let fear win. We have to help each other, try to send each other resources, offer more services to those who need the most. Jeanette knows this, and knowing her, she's inside there organizing. We owe it to Jeanette to give her the same love, respect, and support she's given us. She used her voice to help our communities, and now we'll use ours to help Jeanette. This is an attack on those of us who fight to improve the system for the people. It's a political persecution to force us out of the fight. These are crucial times for us to go, speak up, provide resources, and show that we are not afraid. In this country, that we are united in two. We have nothing left to lose but our chains.
One more round of applause, everybody. We're going to keep going down this. We're going to scoot down this way, y'all. They can hear us at this door. Let's move.
Nos contaron que por error no deportaron a Jeanette hace 2 semanas, pero están trabajando duro para deportarla. Ellos dicen que ya no soportan más a gente que quieren deshacer de ellos para que ustedes ya no estén molestando.
¿Puedes seguir hablando?
So inside,
escuchándoles.
let me interpret. So they're saying that inside the conditions are worsening. The prices of food in there have skyrocketed. The security, the police officers, the concentration camp soldiers are telling them that their voices are worthless, that nobody's with them, that they're here all alone, and that their voice is meaningless inside of there.
We're with you.
mi amigo Poncho va a traducir en inglés, yo le voy a decir en español lo que acaba de decir la persona que está ahí adentro. Ellos dicen que migración, por un error que ellos tuvieron ahí adentro, no deportaron a Jeanette hace 2 semanas. Hace 2 semanas Jeanette ya no estaría aquí, pero él lo va a traducir ahorita en español, en inglés, perdón.
They're saying that immigration has told them inside that one of the reasons that they couldn't deport Jeanette was because of a mistake that they made themselves. That they would have deported her 2 weeks ago if it wasn't for that mistake.
La otra cosa que ellas están diciendo, que migración ya está muy molesta con nosotros, los que estamos apoyando y defendiendo a nuestros hermanos que están prisioneros.
And another thing that immigration has told them inside is that they are sick and tired of us out here for continuing to be here, defending and supporting our family and community that's stuck in prison inside of us.
Ellas están diciendo que ya no quieren que nosotros vengamos aquí. Migración ya no quiere que vengamos y están buscando deportar a Jeanette lo más pronto posible, pero nosotros teníamos que unirnos para que eso no pase.
The women here are saying that immigration is sick and tired of us being here, that they want to deport Jeanette as soon as possible because they are tired of seeing you all continue to show up.
Free them all!
Dijeron las personas que están hablando ahí adentro que hay 3 personas transgéneros y que no están respetando sus derechos y que la mera verdad no están siendo bien tratadas, están siendo maltratadas.
Some of the women that were speaking here have also mentioned that we have 3 transgender community members whose rights are not being respected and whose life is being made difficult inside of them. So that is the message from inside the walls. That is the message of our political prisoners who are telling you firsthand you got to witness the conditions that they are facing inside, and they are conditions of repression meant to scare them into stop fighting for their rights inside of there and to start scaring us to stop fighting out here. But clearly they're feeling the pressure if they're telling them and they're so adamant and they continue to repress them for that same reason, right?
That's right.
So make some noise and make sure that they can hear you. I'm not sure if they're still there, but make that noise regardless.
No están solos, no están ¿Nos escuchan?
¿Cuántas personas están adentro de ese cuarto? 3. There are only 3 people inside.
¿Cómo? Irene Flores. ¿Ustedes 3 son las personas transgénero? ¿Ustedes las están maltratando? ¿Les están dando maltrato?
Sí, nos están maltratando, ya no nos dan el tratamiento de hormonas y también ahora en la mañana el sargento Dean me agredió y también un señor oficial que se llama Mingo me quebró los dedos con la puerta y ellos se cubren entre ellos mismos y nunca hacen nada. Esto es totalmente 100% verdadero y yo no tengo por qué mentirles a ustedes. 100% real, amigos, aquí estoy.
¿Cuál es tu nombre?
No estamos solas.
¿Tu nombre?
No estamos solas.
¿Tu nombre? ¿Cuál es tu nombre?
Ella se llama Irene Flores.
Irene Flores, ok, Irene Flores.
¿Cuáles son? La otra es Dayana Murrieta y la otra.
Ok, Irene Flores está diciendo que le quebraron sus dedos y que las han estado maltratando mucho y que no les están dando sus tratamientos, sus hormonas, son de la comunidad transgénero.
Irene Flores is the one speaking through the door right now, and what she's saying is that she is a transgender person who's been denied her hormonal treatment, and just recently, one of the sergeants in there broke her fingers through a door that he smashed on her. And then between themselves, they will lie and cover themselves up, but that's the sort of treatment that they are being given inside of these walls. I also believe I heard her say that the officer's name is Nico or something like that. Mingo.
¿Cómo se llama el funcionario?
Mingo. Sergeant Mingo is one of the responsible abusers that broke her fingers.
¿Y el otro?
Sergeant Dean also is one of the ones that aggravated us this morning. Attacked us this morning.
It is heartbreaking, Grace.
Muchas gracias y que Dios los bendiga a todos.
¡Fuerza!
She said thank you and God bless all of you. Thank you, they keep saying.
¡No están solos! 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 ¡No están solas! 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 ¡No están solas!
All right, everyone, we've heard from folks inside that they would have deported Jeanette 2 weeks ago. Are we going to let that stand? No! No, and we know that this struggle is waged on many fronts, yes? And we are waging one front of this struggle right now. We are showing these people that we are here for them and we stand with them, yes?
Yes!
And we also have heard that these legal fees that Jeanette's case is incurring are unmanageable, right? And that is clearly a form of oppression, right? Okay, so now we're going to hear from Mac and Leticia about a GoFundMe update for Jeanette. And if you need access to the GoFundMe for Jeanette or for the folks who spoke earlier, you can find a marshal and they will give you the information. So can I get Mac and Leticia?
Hi everyone, my name is Mac y mi compañera Leticia va a traducir después de hablo. Okay, I know transparency is really important when it comes to fundraising, so I'd like to share some details with you, some updates on Jeanette's GoFundMe. As you may have seen on the GoFundMe, we have raised over $70,000 in less than a month. So thank you all, seriously. However, what people probably don't know and can't see on the GoFundMe is that we have already spent $60,000 on Jeanette's legal fees in 1 month.
Wow.
Like Luna said, this fight is expensive, so here are some more details I can share in the spirit of transparency. Jeanette has a core team of 4 attorneys working on her case. 2 have been working nearly full time since she was detained, plus a dozen more are consulting and assisting pro bono for free. At this point, Jeanette's legal team has put in over 200 hours, more than 200 hours of legal work into her case, again, in just 1 month. It's really important to remember that this is part of the government's strategy to exhaust the attorneys, all of whom work at small firms, and to overwhelm Jeanette and her family and supporters with legal bills. So please keep sharing the links, both the petition and the GoFundMe. If you have Instagram, you can find both links in PSL's bio. If you don't have Instagram, please come see any of us who have spoken tonight after the vigil. If you can't contribute to the GoFundMe, we also have t-shirts. These t-shirts, they're extremely soft and they go with everything. So
they're beautiful.
Contribute before they sell out. Lastly, if anyone is here as part of a group or an organization that wants to host one of these vigils in the future, we can support you in doing that. So please just reach out. We would love to have others pitching in to come up with other creative ideas for how we can keep this momentum going week after week, because we won't stop until Jeanette is free.
Buenas noches. Bueno, como sabemos que la transparencia es indispensable en este caso, en cuestión de dinero, estamos aquí para dar un reporte sobre lo que se ha juntado en el GoFundMe para Jeanette, que hasta ahora han sido $70,000 en menos de un mes, pero por ahora ya se gastaron $60,000. Entonces, Jeanette tiene un equipo principal de 4 abogados que trabajan en su caso. 2 han estado trabajando casi a tiempo completo desde que fue detenida. Además de casi una docena más, están asesorando y asistiendo de forma gratuita. En este punto, el equipo legal de Jeanette ha puesto más de 200 horas de trabajo legal en su caso. Es muy importante recordar que esto es parte de la estrategia del gobierno, agotar a los abogados, todos los cuales trabajan en pequeñas empresas y abruman a Jeanette y a su familia, y partidarios con proyectos de ley. Así que por favor sigan compartiendo los enlaces de la petición de GoFundMe. Por último, si alguien aquí forma parte de un grupo u organización que quiera organizar una de estas vigilias en el futuro, podemos apoyarlo en hacerlo. Por favor, pónganse en contacto. Nos encantaría que otros grupos se inscriban para organizar y llegar con ideas creativas para involucrar a más personas y mantener el impulso. El por qué lo decimos en español también, porque mucha gente de nuestra comunidad está siendo mal informada. Se están dejando llevar por rumores de que Jeanette tiene dinero suficiente ya y que no se le apoye más. No podemos dejarnos llevar por rumores porque nosotros no estamos pasando por esa situación. Entonces le pido a la comunidad que se informe y si es de su corazón dar, aunque sea $1, pero que sea de su corazón. No se dejen mal informar. Gracias.
Leticia also said that a lot of people don't have the correct information. The GoFundMe shows that we've met the goal. There's $70,000. That's no longer the case. So please share the GoFundMe in every single space that you occupy, every time you occupy a space. Because everyone talked about political prisoners tonight,
that in the description.
One more chant that I heard them using in Boston when Rumesa was taken, abducted by ICE, the Tufts PhD student. It goes like this. It goes, come for one, face us all, free Jeanette, free them all.
Come for one, face us all, free Jeanette, free them all.
Come for one, face us all, free Jeanette, free them all.
Come for one, face us all, free Jeanette, free them all.
Thank you, everyone.
¡ICE, escucha!
Estamos en la lucha.
¡ICE, escucha!
Estamos en la lucha.
¡ICE,
Escucha. Estamos en la lucha.
¡ICE, escucha!
Estamos en la lucha.
All right, y'all, we're about to wrap up, but we have an announcement for tomorrow. So the Colorado Immigrants' Rights Committee has a bill that has made it to committee tomorrow, and they're asking everyone to turn out. Thank you. They're asking everyone to turn out at 1 p.m. at the Capitol wearing white to support this bill that's going to keep families together. We want to keep families together, yes? Who can be there tomorrow at the Capitol at 1 p.m.? Amazing. Okay, so we're going to be at the Capitol tomorrow. We're going to wear white. And where are we going to be next Monday evening? Right here. SEIU is hosting next week. It's sure to be an incredible program. We're going to connect labor to the immigrant struggle, and we're going to keep connecting our struggles because we are not free until we are all free.
That's right.
ICE, escucha!
Estamos en la lucha.
I said ICE, escucha!
Estamos en la lucha.
All right, I got another one for y'all. I'm gonna say, GEO group, can't you hear? And you're gonna say, immigrants are welcome here, okay? GEO group, can't you hear?
Immigrants are welcome here.
GEO group, can't you hear?
Immigrants are welcome here.
Donald Trump, can't you hear?
Immigrants are welcome here.
Governor Polis, can't you hear?
Immigrants are welcome here.
All right, any educators out here? All right, any workers out here? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say money for jobs and education. You are going to say not for ICE and deportation. Money for jobs and education.
Not for ICE and deportation.
Money for jobs and education.
Not for ICE and deportation.
Money for
Hi, how are you
jobs
guys?
and education.
Not for ICE and deportation.
All right, I got one more. La misma la policía, la misma porquería. La migra, la policía, la misma porquería. La migra, la policía, la misma porquería. La migra, la policía, la misma porquería. Thank you all. Give yourself a hand.
Fight back! 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 We say fight back! 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 Fight back!
free tonight. Everybody get home safe.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Love you too. And I love you. I'll see you again sooner rather than later. Meet us here next Monday night. Jeanette belongs here. I love you. And free Palestine.